Well, it's still, some will say that's still a drop in the ocean compared with the number of policemen we currently have. I mean, 600, 138.
No, that is against the backdrop of, you know, our domestic trainings. Our domestic trainings have not stopped. Okay. It's a continuous process. You know, we keep training them. For instance, we promoted the rank and file and the inspectors. We promoted close to 39,400 or 500 early this year. But before you are promoted, we ensure that you go for, you know, a refresher's course. We discovered that most of the, you know, emphasis we have always had in our training has always been physical fitness. Physical fitness is okay, but then you have now discovered that the world has now moved on. Policing is now knowledge-based. If it is knowledge-based, you expect that, you know, officers that you are going to train will have a bookish acquaintance of maybe psychology, some sociology, because if you are going to work in an environment, I will expect that any good policeman who I post to any state in the federation should be able to situate, you know, his operations within the socio-cultural environment in which he's working. So you require a bit of psychology, public relations, human rights issues. It is when you see a policeman who is who has, you know, a complex, he's prone to, you know, overreaction whenever he comes in contact.
Maybe I can just come in here, Mark, for just a moment here. Now you're talking about complex. You also made mention of those that have gotten promotion.
Yes.
A couple of times we've received complaints about promotions, and in their words they use this word special promotion, that some people have had special promotions over the years, maybe someone who's been on a particular rank for 2 or 3 years, as against someone who's been on that same rank for about 12 years. So are you aware of people in the system who have been on a rank for about 10, 12 years?
In some categories of, you know, the hierarchy of the Nigerian police force, there are some, you know, cadre that is top heavy. CSPs to assistant commissioners of police, because you have to promote against the establishment and strength of that organization. You cannot promote over the establishment that has been fixed. Over the years, like when you promote somebody as an assistant commissioner of police, he is now going to act as maybe an area commander, ACCID, AC operations. If we don't open up, you know, the top, then there are no vacancies. So what the president has asked us to do now is to make recommendations. If we create more area commands, if we create more zonal commands, if we create more, you know, divisional police office, then it means you are opening up the top. So if you open up the top, you remove that clog of frustration that is. Let me come back to the first question you asked. If people, you know, there are some people who are promoted, given special consideration in terms of promotion. If you display exceptional professional, you know, character. For example, the young man in Osho, they went for a bank robbery, and the divisional police officer, a DSP, followed up. You know, it is you know, that is reaction of following up with these robbers. You know, making sure that he arrested them and recovered the money. You know, when you look at such an officer, you say he has displayed exceptional, you know, professional character. That, you know, you have to start telling officers that if you do some certain things that brings pride and joy to the system, there must be a way of compensating you. It's either I issue you a commendation letter, you know, depending on the weight of what you have done, or I said, yes, you have spent some years, you know, on the rank. Why can't I cannot promote somebody who has not spent up to 3 years in one rank. The best I can do is to maybe recommend him to the Police Service Commission for maybe an acting appointment. He acts on that position, but you see, it gives him that feeling of satisfaction that I work for an establishment that appreciates what I have done. I have put my life, you know, on the line to ensure that these things were done. So those are the criteria that sometimes, you know, that comes to play whenever you want to do things like that.
Let me just follow up on the intelligence policing aspect. I mean, Are they using this preventive measures now? Because many times we see they react when something has already happened. But in terms of you deploying that intelligence,
Yes.
how functional is it to prevent crime from going on?
Well, you see, when crime is prevented, it does not make headline news. I'll give you some. I'll give you some examples. My establishment of the intelligence response team was for them. I looked at some officers within the system who could match intelligence generated from platforms with operational skills on the field. When some young Nigerians wanted to go, to Republic of Benin to go and rob a bureau de change, we already knew they were coming. We had intelligence they were coming, and we wanted them to, to dare us because we already had intelligence, and that was why, we were able to halt. We co-shared, with other agencies in the system, the military, the Triple S, the Custom Service, and we're able to. They actually came. We're able to halt them and arrest them. You see, when these things they happen, ordinarily, Nigerians, it doesn't make. They don't want to know the details about how.
Does the police furnish the media with that information?
Well, the goods and services that the police we produce, they are soft goods. They don't lend themselves to assessment. We don't publicize ourselves. My responsibility as an Inspector General of Police is to ensure that crimes are not committed, or when they are committed, I have the capacity to be able to solve them. I am not a public relations officer. I cannot come every day and say, oh, I have be able to prevent this thing from happening. That is exactly what I'm supposed to do in the first instance. So to many Nigerians, they say, and so what? Does that make any news? That is what you are paid to do in the first instance. But when it happens, and I am, even when some cases happen, the thing has, the people have, they think they've been successful. My investigation does not stop there. I now have the responsibility to ensure that those people who have done those things, I bring them to book. And how I do it, depends on my own understanding of, the type of crime, how, I'm going to marshal, man material to ensure that I'm able to get the people who are involved in this thing.